My people, welcome back to the channel. Welcome. Spatala FC. We are within. Shout out for tuning in, guys. As much as I'm excited to be back in the studio to share a few transfer thoughts, I'm really concerned about these Premier League rivals that seem to be very keen to reinforce, especially in the front line. I believe almost every Premier League side has a solid defense, maybe barring Bournemouth, who've given everyone their players. But I believe everyone is strong, solid. Everyone can play a sort of low block and counter. But now, Liverpool and Arsenal are likely to strengthen in the front line. Arsenal, of course, it's been going on for over a month now. Victor Gyökeres, will he join? Initially, they wanted Sesko, but it looks like the Gyökeres deal is gaining serious traction. And if Arsenal do get this player, just how good could they be in the front line? Many a times when I'm watching Arsenal, I'll see Bukayo Saka cut the ball back, but there's no one in the 18. Martinelli, Trossard, whoever plays on the left side will be looking for someone in the box. But if they do get a poacher, someone very different from Kai Havertz, I believe a lot more goals come out of that Arsenal team, which is a scary prospect in terms of their league position. Arteta will be happy about that. But overall, you could also argue that Arteta doesn't really want an out and out number nine. Kai Havertz has bulked up, looking like a rugby player there at training, the way I saw him in the pictures. However, if Arsenal bring in a number nine, that could be the final stepping stone to actually get them silverware and maybe even the Premier League, because they don't seem to be a cup team as much as they did well in the Champions League last season. I believe Arsenal's consistency in the Premier League has to be their most convincing facet as a team. So Gyökeres to Arsenal, I'm personally hoping it doesn't go through, but if Arsenal do get him, I believe the league would enjoy the player because he is a lethal striker. I believe he's in his prime, sort of a late bloomer. He was at Brighton at some point on loan, but they never took him on. He went to Sporting, went to Portugal, polished his game under Ruben Amorim, which is an interesting one. And then there's Liverpool. And this speculation is even scarier because they're going for a Premier League proven striker in Alexander Isak. Where are Liverpool getting this money? That's the question. They didn't spend in the previous windows, maybe the last two or three. Maybe they've been saving, doing well in the Champions League. They won the Premier League, which brings in a heavy budget. And they could still sell the likes of Darwin Nunes, the likes of Luis Diaz, who don't seem to be in the plans of Arne Slot. So that could fund the move for Isak. But even before that happens, they seem to have enough to do it. And then crazy because Newcastle are looking at Hugo Ekitike. And if Liverpool can't get Isak from Newcastle, Liverpool will join the race for Ekitike. Do you know these cycles, these revolving things? Players are limited. The best of the best are limited in football, and then the best clubs or the clubs with the funding keep going for the same players.
Into further trouble.
Chelsea have been slandered over time for just being lurkers. We wait for someone else to inquire, then we pounce. Sometimes it's true, sometimes it's not. Because who else was going for Joao Pedro? Oh, Newcastle wanted Joao Pedro. So in terms of lineups, it's scary, especially the Liverpool lineup, guys. I'm looking at that midfield three and I'm thinking it could be Slobo, McAllister, and Gravenberg, as it was last season. But the addition of Florian Wirtz means one of those three in the midfield might have to suffer, one of them. And I'm looking at likely to be Gravenberg because I don't see how you bench McAllister. And I don't see how you bench the work rate of Dominic Slobozlai. So if Wirtz is in the midfield three, that's crazy. And then the back line has changed completely. The wing backs are different men. Frimpong has arrived. Milos Kerkez has arrived. Oh my goodness. Oh, Liverpool are going to be strong. And the reason why Luis Diaz, I believe, is not really keen to stay or he's not in the plans is because Cody Gakpo has owned that left wing position. And in terms of backup, you could still look at a Harvey Elliott, perhaps. Maybe he's that player. Maybe he could do it on both flanks. Isak loves to drift onto the left side of the pitch. They could be looking at Isak as an option to actually make them stronger across the front line. You might even see Salah play as a number 9. Who's saying no to that? That's scary, yes? You get me? Let's jump to Chelsea, guys.
Here we go.
It's speculation as well as confirmation. So Strasbourg versus Chelsea business, the blue coat clubs that recently both beat PSG, had to throw that in there. You get me?
If you don't get it, forget about it.
Henry Paez has gone to Strasbourg on loan. Matisse Omogu, who we signed just to make up numbers in the locker room at this rate, has gone to Strasbourg on a permanent deal. So we got him from Saint Etienne in France, brought him into the squad only to sell him to our sister club. That's crazy. So it's like he's likely to never return. Only players that go on loan to Strasbourg have a chance of returning, in my opinion. The likes of course, Andre Santos. Now we've taken Petrovic back to sell him to Bournemouth. So he's a Bournemouth player. Now it seems we've given Strasbourg another goalkeeper for the coming season in Mike Penders on loan from Chelsea. Will Penders have a similar path to Petrovic is the question mark. Penders is said to be a good goalkeeper. I haven't seen the most of him, but he's called the Regen Courtois, the new Thibaut Courtois, also Belgian. And I believe he will shine in France for Strasbourg. Will he play for Chelsea? I highly doubt it. Honestly, now Robert Sanchez has stepped up to some extent, so maybe we've forgotten, or we've just left our losses in terms of Petrovic, and we're going to trust Sanchez for the coming season with Jorgensen as a backup, you'd assume. So we don't have a third choice right now. We might still call one up. We had 8 keepers at some point, slandered for that as Chelsea. But Mike Penders to Strasbourg, good luck, as well as Kendry Paez, loan players from Chelsea. And then the speculation, Fabrizio Romano posted this, I think yesterday, that Nicholas Jackson as well as Christopher Nkunku could both leave Chelsea. Nicholas Jackson. I also saw some speculation that Man United are monitoring the situation. Nicholas Jackson to Man United, what do you guys think? I say okay. I say okay. That's a rival. You don't want to be strengthening rivals. I believe Jackson's trajectory is good. He will be a good, possibly lethal striker in latter years of his career. Only 23 years old, maybe turned 24. That's a young striker. That's a player learning the tricks of his trade. So if we lose Jackson, will we suffer? Not really. Not in my opinion. It looks like Joao Pedro and Liam Delap have already adapted to the system under Maresca. Maybe Jackson helped them to adapt, but they look happy. They look comfortable. So Jackson might be surplus to requirements, guys. Unfortunately. You get me? So the speculation is there. Will we lose Nkunku as well? I believe Nkunku can move on for the sake of his personal career. He did well at the Club World Cup when he'd come on. He started a few games. He did well enough. And it looks like Maresca might have made a plan for him, but the surplus players. We have so many players. Andre Santos' versatility looks like he can play in the cam role, DM role, CM. So Andre Santos is actually probably killing a lot of other men's chances at Chelsea. You get me? We move, guys. Speculation says Chelsea still want a left back. I believe Jorel Hato. I would like Jorel Hato rumors to reignite. I think that's the player that could help Marco Correa on that left side. Maybe one more CB. Do we need one? Wesley Fofana's injury is still a major concern. And this is all to say Chelsea should solidify should we look to contest on every single front. Both cups in the FA Cup in Carabao, Premier League, Champions League. Are we going for all 4? We need to solidify certain positions. And who's to say we won't lose a few players, unfortunately, through injury? Romeo Lavia remains injury prone. Unfortunately, our captain has the same criteria. And Reece James leaves us paranoid, even as much as he stayed fit for some time now. So, yeah, guys, did I miss any speculation? Might have missed something, but I think I'll leave it at that, guys. We'll be back. If I missed anything, we'll mention that in the upcoming videos. Shout out for tuning in, guys. Still on that road to 1,000. Be sure to join the fam. Blessings, my people.